everyone, my name is Alex. I'm CEO and co-founder of byrd, the first e-commerce fulfillment platform. I'll start and end it with a black slide because it seems relevant. It suits my outfit as well. So we're building scalable logistics for every online shop. Why do we do this? Let's quickly talk about the big picture here. This is a schematic view of the e-commerce market. We all know it, short, middle, long tail. And in the somewhere very, very far up here is Amazon. The big players in the market have established a very sophisticated logistics. They've had the scale and time to do so. In the long tail, this is much harder. If you've ever tried to build your own online shop, you'll quickly realize how hard and complex it can be to actually ship your own parcels. Main reasons for that, manifold. I think the three most important ones is actually that fulfillment and shipping stuff has become very, very competitive, driven by the leaders in the market who up and up and up consumer expectations. It's not very scalable. So if you're a well-running product, it sells well, you need to keep moving warehouses every time you grow out of your warehouse, and you need to employ and manage normally very unskilled labor, to be very frank. And it's super intransparent. I just saw statistics yesterday that 81% of German e-commerce actually still picks by picking lists, so on paper. So you have actually no idea what's going on. So what have we done about that? You can think of our product very high level as a plugin for your online shop, a logistics plugin that's as easy to use as your PayPal, your MailChimp or whatever. So it's three things. It's digital. You'll get a fully digital warehouse, fully digital fulfillment from us. It's scalable. It doesn't matter whether you ship 5 parcels with us, 5,000 parcels with us. It will grow and breathe as you need it. So no more investments in people or labor or facilities. And it's very high performing because we pool the volume of many, many smaller shops into larger pipelines, giving you basically the same capacities of a very large player in the market. How does it look like? I did this myself today, proud of it. To explain it to you, so very roughly, if you are the online shop owner, on the very top, we'll give you a digital warehouse that integrates with your Shopify, WooCommerce, whatever shop. And our backend will orchestrate various players to basically fulfill your order. This is freight forwarders, warehouses, as well as last mile services that are connected into our system. And essentially what you need to do, you get an account with us, you ship us your stuff, and from there we take care of it. It's all happening. Of course we don't do this, also did this. Of course we don't do this with one online shop, but with now in the triple-digit online shops, pooling the volume, funneling it to various partners. Ooh, there's one slide missing. Anyway, so this is a cool piece of technology which nobody has built before so far. So we can now ship in the thousands of parcels a month, which we're already doing, without ever touching a single parcel, delivering better customer experience than any of our customers can do it themselves, and delivering really real value to the market by making each and every one of those competitive. So we quite like what we've built in the last 2.5 years. We now have roughly around 5 warehouses that are operating in the dozens last mile services, and as I said, into triple-digit customers. It's cool, but now I want to talk about the bigger picture, because I think we are only at the very, very start what you can do with this piece of technology. If you think about it now, what we can do is we can open new warehouses anywhere in the world, whenever we want, and give it to our customers as well. So we have a few customers that want to expand to the UK, open a partnership there, etc. Why we're doing this is I'm telling you about it right now. Because not only small customers have this problem, as our network expands, we're also getting more value for bigger customers. Why is that? Because the customer expectations just change constantly, right? They want it faster, they want it quicker, they want it everywhere. So in our view, the time where you had one warehouse in Germany and shipped to Germany, Europe, the world, along over. This is why bigger networks look like that. And if you look at this retailer's network in Europe, it looks fairly similar, and then it's expanding quickly. So we're talking really about a decentralized world. And what this piece of technology we've built allows us to do is essentially build this network, but not from one of your competitors, but a neutral network that anyone can plug into and basically get the best out of it. Also a drawing of mine, not that just as cool, but you get the picture. All right, thank you very much. Okay, Fragen?
So last year we had Loadfox, Instafreight, Freight Hub and Fleet on stage. They all got funding later on that year. You just got a very large funding round. How much was it?
It was undisclosed, but it was in this good 7 digits.
Okay, cool. What are you going to do with the money?
For now, we're not crazy about growth right now. We're really a product-facing company. So as you can imagine, the little, very simple-looking supply chain I showed earlier is super complex. And it's very pleasing to talk to actually the logistics crowd, because those people appreciate how complex the little pieces are to really, have a 99.9% accuracy, the right things being picked at the right time, going to the right customer. So we're investing it mainly in technology, but we'll also increase our network of warehouse partners.
What do you need most at the moment? Can we help with something? The audience?
The audience? Well, first of all, happy to have my ideas challenged. I'm always, I like talking to other logistics people because I think it's extremely valuable getting many insights. But for us, it's all about building both sides, supply side and demand side, so you can think of it as a platform, you need both. So if any of you guys know fulfillment centers that want to work with us, happy to have a chat. If you run your own online shop and you think, interesting, I want to have more scalable logistics as well, of course, feel free to reach out.
All right, and then I have one last question, just to make it crystal clear. What differentiates you from incumbents like Fiege?
So in our basic service, we're very similar. We offer you fulfillment. I'd argue that 2 things differentiate us a lot. We don't need to own warehouses or any other assets. We just build the technology, give it to warehouses, and it runs. So we don't own the warehouses. That's a big difference, of course, to Fiege, etc. And the second thing is, I think, the piece of technology we give to our customers, all the business intelligence, all the automation in there, standardized for all the big online shop plugins, is another core piece we've built, and something Fiege doesn't have yet.
All right, thank you very much, Alex.
Okay, so let's start. Hello everybody, I'm happy to be here and have the possibility to present you the pick by vision technology of Picavi. So let's start with a short video. you mentioned at the beginning bringing value to modern technology. I think this is a very good example for it. Once again, what we are using is the Google Glass Enterprise Edition. So we are one of 16 Google Glass partners worldwide. So if you see this glass, you see here, I try to point it. This is a display, and in this black part you have the control unit, and here at the right side you have got something like a touchpad. There you can make some, you can scroll through menu. We see here some pictures. What you see on this display, we have already seen a little bit about it in the video, but you have different possibility to support the picker during the process. So you can show him the location, you can show him what is the next article to pick, the quantity, but you can also support him in different ways. For example, if he stands in front of a warehouse, you can just visualize in which part or which container of the warehouse he can find the piece he should pick. And also you have got the possibility to enter some numbers if he's just entering new material in his warehouse. And he can also do this by voice, so you can also talk to the smart glass. So it's a very natural way how you support the picker, because picking is doing something visual, so he's looking around, and that's the most natural thing to support him with his glasses. What we need in addition to the glasses, because the battery of these glasses originally only lasts for something about 2 to 3 hours, but a working shift is about 8 hours. So we added an additional battery pack, but we also added a control panel or a touch, so there you see some keys or buttons where you can also type on and control the smart glasses. This is important, for example, if you wear hand shoes during your work, etc., then you can't use the touchpad at the glasses. We have currently more than 600 smart glasses in use in a couple of clients, or not just a couple, it's a lot of clients which we have already implemented. One of them, Feel, you have seen in the video too, but there are a lot of other ones who we are working with and who have implemented our technology, because it has shown that companies reduce costs or become more efficient, something between 10 to 30% by introducing these technologies, and I think that are quite impressive figures. Once again, it helps to increase productivity, it helps to reduce errors, because also if he picks the wrong article, it will be controlled, he gets an error message, and it's very easy to use. So the experience is it's a very short introduction time. They learn very fast to use the technologies, and it's also very easy and comfortable to wear. Thank you for your attention, and feel free to ask any question.
So yeah, I noticed that there's a big discussion if picking is more popular among workers if you have a glove or glasses on. With a glove, you obviously need to know what you're doing. Would you say that in a highly cyclical business where you need to bring in a lot of new colleagues quickly, you can have pretty much everyone put on a pair of glasses and then perform at a high level?
Yes, it helps a lot, because especially if you introduce new workers, you have got this, they have to learn. They are under pressure, they should pick very fast. So at the beginning, the error quote is very high. So, and it's a very good support to them, because they see on the display which articles in the amount, and otherwise if you just work for example with a handheld, yeah, you look at the handheld and you see, okay, I should pick this article and 5 pieces of it, for example. You put it apart in order to pick it, because you need both hands. You know, with this technology, you have both hands free. Then you pick it, the article, and then, hey, you remember, hey, how many should I pick? You once again take the handheld, look at it, etc., etc. So this helps you. You have all the data, all the information you need for your picking process in your display. You can just look a little bit up and you see it, and that's very good, especially for this.
And from your point of view, what's the biggest weakness of these AR glasses today? What needs to be improved to make it even better?
So you can imagine what is a challenge is the Wi-Fi compatibility or availability in a warehouse. You have got a lot of steel in it, and especially if the pickers are moving very fast to different warehouses, you have got, it's a challenge to establish a stable connectivity. So that's in some cases a challenge. But yeah, so during the last couple of years we have improved the technology, we have learned a lot about VLAN, although our core business was software development and not VLAN connectivity. But now we have got a quite stable technology, and clients are now more and more implementing it and rolling out this technology in their warehouses.
Cool, thanks. One last question to Jens from the audience. Our colleague from Audi.
Yes. I'd like to know how is your experience of the team members who wear this glass all over the day or for 8 hours. So we got the experience that it's really hard for them and needs a lot of concentration, and it's not possible to wear them over two hours. So do these people in the warehouse wear them all the day?
Yes, so it's in a productive environment, they wear it 8 hours a day, so therefore it's important. So there are different smart glasses on the market from different competitors. So the reason why we only use Google glasses is because it has the highest wearability comfort. It's the lightest one, so it's very easy. It's the most balanced one. So you have to become a little bit used to it. So if you wear it for the first time, you're a little bit irritated about this display there. But this display is not, if you look straight, you see not the display, you just see it above. So you have to look above in order to see the data. So our experience is that they get used to it quite fast, and you always has to compare with different technology in place. You're using a handheld. The handheld is heavy, and it's you left it somewhere. You pick something, you drove away, and hey, where's my handheld, etc. So it's and the other thing is picked by voice. You were the whole day here headset, and this is also it's always supporting part. So it's not the same, but you need some support tools in this process, and so we have got quite good experience with it.
Cool, thanks a lot, Jens.
Hello everybody, my name is Steve from evan.network and COBILITY. I will speak about this double name later. So yes, we are actually blockchain guys here. So let's start with thinking about the situation of logistics and economy in general. So everything is more connected, especially in the field of logistics. Supply chains are becoming bigger, more complex, and this all leads actually to the situation that cooperation is becoming more and more important in the future. So we have to ask each other now what should be the base for future cooperation. And you can choose between actually a central base, central marketplaces like Amazon or eBay or Airbnb, or you can decide for a decentralized base on a network where companies work together at eye level. So the answer is actually quite easy. If you don't want gatekeepers, unfair competition, or if you don't want to lose your data sovereignty, you choose the decentralization as the base for future cooperation. So actually, I think since 2 years, every time when you hear the word decentralization, you hear blockchain. You know, this miracle cure who will solve all of your problems. No, not, sorry. No, don't get me wrong. Blockchain is a great technology to build these decentralized networks, but the bad message is that most of these technology is not enterprise ready yet. So you have public chains, they are slow, they're not scalable, they're not GDPR compliant. I could continue this list as long as you want. So hopefully you have time. Companies who realize this decide then, okay, come on, I build my own private blockchain. You can do this as well as you can paint your 23-year-old car in a new color and say to your neighbors, hey guys, this is my new car. So you will basically get the same central storage as you already have just on the new technology without any benefits. So this is the part where Evan comes inside. We make something slightly different. Evan is basically an open blockchain ecosystem built to enable decentralized cooperation. Operated and owned by a consortium of different companies. We are basically the first blockchain solution where you can, or on the base, you can build GDPR compliant applications. And with evan.network, we combine the advantages of a public chain, like decentralization, with the advantages of a private chain, like higher scalability or stable coins, for example. So let's take a short look how it actually works. You have digital twin verified identities. These are actually the base for every use case on blockchain. So you have to make sure that your truck, your pallet, your box, everything gets a digital identity, because in this moment we enable these things to be real parts in processes. So this basically, or this is the base for every use case. Around we have a distributed ledger storage layer, what is basically the blockchain. Yeah, so we are Ethereum based, we just use the technology, we don't work on the public Ethereum chain, it's a big difference. And all of the data, the verified identities, the smart contracts, everything is stored in the distributed ledger in the storage layer. On top we have an application layer. Application layer means we are completely open, so everybody can build applications and use the verified identities on the evan.network. So like example, you want to build, I don't know, in the mobility field you want to build a charging app. So you basically need a verified identity of a car, of a user, and of a charging system. So this is actually what we do here. On the top, you have neutral networks, and so again, evan.network is just a neutral operating system. We don't want to build these networks, we don't want to build applications. So we are just an operating system. And on top, you have other technologies. So evan.network is completely open to other DLT technologies like IOTA or ERP systems, AI systems, whatever you want. So you see here, on the evan.network, we want to build, so there's the possibility to build neutral networks. And one, like you see there, is a logistics network. And together with our partners, ChainStep and Xane, we actually built an initiative, or we started an initiative some weeks ago to build a decentralized platform for the transport logistics. And at the moment we're looking for companies who wants to work with us in this initiative, who wants to, or have some use case in their mind, wants to implement it on the evan.network. And yes, that's basically this. Thanks for your attention. If you want to hear some already implemented use cases on evan.network, I think we have some time to speak about this. Thank you.
Yeah, I was about to say, there's a lot of technical lingo and it's really hard to keep up and follow if you're not, if you haven't internalized the basics of blockchain. So please help us cut through the noise. Is blockchain something that decision makers in logistics can already consider? Is there a use case out there that is running?
I mean, I think every company, and we hear a lot about something like this evening, so every company has to look in the future and has to think about solutions, what I can implement for the future development of my company. So we have already use cases with logistics companies working on the evan.network, so it's broad, or it's a wide field of different use cases. So evan.network itself, it's completely, it's completely free, which means the field of industry. So you can build mobility networks as well on evan.network. But yes, we have use cases out of the field of logistics working on the evan.network.
Right, so our guests could come to you afterwards and say, hey, let's set up a meeting, let's set up a workshop, and let's brainstorm together.
Yes, so yeah, we can do this. We can brainstorm whenever we want. Brainstorms everything, every time, a good thing, I think. Yes, so for the moment, you know, we are a startup, so we are working together with companies to build these use cases in this neutral network. So in the future, we want that companies build these neutral networks, these applications completely without us. So we want the Evan network is basically completely independent from us as a single company. So for the moment, yes, everybody who's interested. So we started this initiative COBILITY, especially for this, that companies can speak with us about use cases they have in their mind, they maybe want to implement on blockchain technology. So yeah, we are happy to speak with everybody and brainstorm.
Great. Any questions from the audience?
Hey Joe, we invest early stage in tech startups, so that's interesting. My question is, with logistic companies having very, very small margins, especially if they're not the large ones, do you have projects that are ready, like give a return on invest right away? Or is it something which, as you said, is something that's going to be way in the future? Because then it's, in my opinion, pretty hard to get somebody to work with you, because if you promise returns in 5 or 10 years, you know, it's too far off.
Yeah, I totally understand this. I mean, with return on investment, we have, for example, use cases in the field of certificate management. So sometimes logistic companies have to prove that the customers of the logistic company want to see if the company or the logistics company, normally they don't work just alone, they have other companies working for them, so they want to see if all of these companies, all the supply chain have certificates, which means actually that they corporate social responsibility, sorry I missed the word, corporate social responsibility. So there are customers who want to know that all the supply chain respect these rules. So sometimes there are like books like this where they write, okay, so you have to put this motor oil in your trucks, or you have to put, you have to use these tires and stuff like this. So, and we already have cases where we make this certificate management. So this, it's basically audits based on blockchain technology. So it means that the logistics company at the top of the supply chain can know over the blockchain technology that all of the companies in the supply chain respect this corporate social responsibility standards. So it's maybe not it's maybe not a 100 clear answer on your question with which goes in the direction of return on invest, but there are cases on blockchain technology where it makes really sense. I mean, there are outside a lot of use cases where blockchain technology makes 0 sense, but companies want to do it because they want to look innovative. Yeah?
And one other question?
Thank you, I'm Zoltan, nice to meet you. So, my question is, if a company decides to use your technology, how they can be sure next day there won't be other blockchain company who would like to offer the same, but that's, you know, a different provider? Yeah. How can I be sure if I implement the technology, I will have access for the whole, so everybody can follow where my goods came from and so on. So, do you understand my question?
I guess, yes. I guess I know in which direction you want to go. So I told you that the first thing is that we are open to a lot of different technologies, like other distributed ledger technologies. So it means that you can connect them with the Evan network. The second part is that we built the Evan network basically on Ethereum. So Ethereum is one of the biggest, with Bitcoin, one of the biggest blockchain technologies in the world. So we support the whole Ethereum standard. So even if you build like smart contracts on plain Ethereum outside of Evan network, you're able to bring them in the Evan network and on the other side as well. So if you build smart contracts on evan.network, you can use them outside as well. So there is no login or something like this. And this is, I think, the most important thing. If you choose evan.network, you are not committed to one company. So what if us as a startup in 2 years, maybe we don't want to do this anymore and we are away, so then, so actually this is not possible, and yeah, it's actually a very good question.
Yeah, thank you.
Great, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So yeah, my name is Yaro, I'm from RightHand Robotics. To start off, I wanted to thank Fabian for mentioning my name and kind of the host, inviting me here. There is actually a deck here. That's a deck. Perfect. Right. And I have a clicker. Perfect. And one thing I wanted to also thank Christoph. I think for bringing up the topic of picking and how difficult it is. I want to disagree with one thing. I think you said accuracy should be 99.95. I think it should be a bit more nines before the 5 for it to be really important, and that's our vision as well. So RightHand Robotics, if you look at our logo, you see a gripper and an object. So we are focusing on picking. And RightHand Robotics is a right hand for the right problem. I'm left-handed, so nothing against leftists here. The way we're thinking about it is like we as humans are very good at using tools, so robots should be able to use tools as well. And the gripper is basically a tool. And the vision stack, the hand-eye coordination, all the rest is the same. Now, our mission is to enable robots to manipulate everyday objects. That's what we kind of thinking about, and that's what we believe in. Now, if I take the next slide here with this, I'll run a quick video. I showed it yesterday at a panel, so if you've seen it before, sorry for repeating. So let's do it.
Robots help many industries, but picking products for e-commerce has been impossible. Retailers spend billions each year handling items during order fulfillment, but it's hard to keep up with 20% annual sales growth and shrinking labor pools. Picking and placing items is a mundane task, and in a typical warehouse, an item might be handled 10 times before it ships. This is the opportunity for robotic piece picking. Millions of products are available online, creating the technical challenge. How can robots ever pick such a variety of things, including items they've never seen before, not knowing which will come next? Developing a machine with the intelligence and skills to pick a massive range of items at high rate and reliability, the 3 R's of robotic piece picking, is what drives us at RightHand Robotics. Our team of roboticists, computer vision and machine learning experts, software developers, hardware designers, and warehousing specialists focus on this single mission. We call the solution RightPick, and here's how it works. RightPick integrates a software brain with 3D computer vision and a smart gripper. This hand-eye coordination means RightPick owns the pick, being fully accountable for throughput and quality metrics, setting it apart from piecemeal solutions and giving customers the predictability they require. Let's watch it in action. Inventory arrives and RightPick's vision system processes depth and color images. Proprietary segmentation algorithms choose an item to pick. RightPick decides the best grasp strategy within a fraction of a second. The patented gripper combines suction, enabling picking from tight spaces, with compliant fingers that gently secure and stabilize the load in motion. Integrated sensing confirms successful picks and verifies placement. The cloud-connected RightPick fleet automatically generates a trove of labeled data that is fed into deep learning neural nets, improving performance based on experience. RightPick is on the ground in facilities worldwide, providing autonomous picking capacity with real-time visibility and giving our customers a competitive edge. It's even possible RightPick had a hand in your last online order. If you've not bought in on robotic piece picking from RightHand Robotics, now is the time to grasp the opportunity.
Great. So we are a company based in Boston, and we do have robots in Europe. We have a few customers here, and they don't yet want to talk about it publicly because it's a strategic advantage for them using the systems. Now, one thing I want you to say that if there is anything I want you to remember from this presentation is that we as a company care about 3 R's: the range of objects, reliable, at high rate. Because this is throughput. So throughput is what our customers tells us what they want, is predictable throughput. And that's the only thing. Now, I think some people say, "Hey guys, so what do you do, and what is important?" So we do the vision stack, obviously. We do the big data stack and the gripper, and to some extent I have the gripper here. So I just wanted to show a few pieces. But before I do that. So we humans are very good at picking things, like why, what makes us special. So the hand, right? And if you look into my thumb, I can do this, but there is also passive rotation. So all my hand, fingers have this passive and tactile sensing. So when I pick things, I grab things, my hand do this adaptation, and also I can feel, so I can improve my neural networks. So if you look at this group here, you'll see that all these fingers, they are pretty much compliant, and they can change and rotate and adjust as needed. So when the gripper is taking items, it actually can adjust to the surface. It also is more advanced than the human hand because it has suction. So you can see here, opportunity to use suction and fingers, and the way we're looking into this is like, there are cases where you can use suction. There are cases where for delicate objects you want to pick them just with fingers, and sometimes you do want to combine this all together. I think, so this is the story about the gripper, and on the vision side, of course there is big data, machine learning, fleet learning, and all the other things. I think from my perspective, what brings me here is I'm we are a US-based company, and we're getting a lot of interest from Europe. So we trying to find the right partners to work here. We're thinking of maybe even opening an office in Europe. And if there's anybody here who is interested in the technology to apply it, I would love to talk to. If there is somebody here who have some want to partner, would love to discuss. And finally, if you want to join us in our European exploration, I would love to hear it from you. That's it. Thank you.
Great, very impressive. One question from the audience before we switch to the VC panel. Lots of questions. Yes. 2 questions then.
It's really cool to dig with one hand. Sometimes you have bulky stuff and you need 2 hands. How do you tackle that? Is it in the roadmap or?
Right. So from our perspective, our focus is anything that can be picked with one hand. With our experience working with warehouses, they do have bulky items, and usually there is a separate process that is required for bulky items. I mean, of course, if you order, say a bicycle on online store, you wouldn't expect that to a robot just to pick, right? Our focus is on smaller items, and I think from the data we have, most of the items that are shipped for like e-commerce or split case distributions are coming. You can most of them pick with one hand. To add, last thing is it's the same vision stack at the same perception step, so you could potentially just mount a different gripper or adjust. It all depends on ROI. If you have majority of items that are large, you can just adjust the gripper or do something else. There was another question here.
Yes.
So it's Thomas. Thanks for a great pitch. Loved it. 2 questions. You mentioned deep learning, and of course you've got a camera system. Can you give us an idea about the training effort? So how much one-off training effort you need for a typical task of gripping between days or weeks? That's the first. And the second one, I loved your lines. Agree to that. So what's your experience so far in your lines? So how well are you doing, and how are there cases where I wouldn't say fail, but where it's really difficult? So I'd understand that.
Yeah, great. So two questions. So the first question: how long does it take to train something? So from our perspective, it's not about training. It's all about getting the performance higher and higher, right? So if you were now in our facility and we're in front of our robot, I'll be like, hey, Tom, put your shoe into the robot, and the robot will just go and pick it up, right? So it will do the task. But the question is like, how reliable is going to be this task? You might try first time and fail. It might go again and fail, right? So when we're thinking about it, we're saying, okay, how many attempts is it okay to robot to try before we're saying, hey, this item needs additional work, right? So to answer your question, is like you need zero previous knowledge or model or training to start working. And the advantage of the system is if you have multiple robots across one facility or across different facilities, they all obviously collect the data. So the more data they get, the faster, the more reliable they become in picking these items. And why it's important for the customer, it's important for the pick. Because when there's no pick, it's okay for the robot, do a few attempts. But when the pick comes, you want the robot to work as fast as possible. So this is where the data becomes extremely valuable. And for your second question with respect to reliability, so when we think about system performance reliability, we're thinking about was the right item in the right tote. It's less about, hey, has the robot tried, failed, and has it recovered? Has it tried again? Has it learned from the, at the end of the day, you as customer, you don't care. I mean, yeah, it could have taken slightly, more seconds for this to converge. But in practice, what you care about is that your customer received the right product, right? So we have the tools to actually validate the placement, validate that the items was placed, and so far we pretty much have zero complaints about that. So we measure the performance of the robot is, was the right item in the right tote, and that's how we think about it. Does that make sense? Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you very much.